First, cast on 10 stitches. Then knit the first row and purl the second. On the third row, you're going to knit in the front and the back of each stitch across the row. Knitting in the front and the back of each stitch is a way to make an increase. Insert the needle through the stitch to make a knit stitch, and then instead of pulling it off, go around the back and knit a second stitch. Then remove both of the stitches from the needle. Once you have finished knitting in the front and the back of each stitch, you will have 20 stitches on the needle. Purl across for the fourth row. On the fifth row, you're going to knit in the front and the back of each stitch. Now you will have 40 stitches on the needle. Work 12 rows in stockinette stitch. The next row is a decrease row. You're going to knit one stitch and knit 2 stitches together. You're going to repeat this until you reach the last stitch, which is a knit stitch. You will have 27 stitches at the end of this row. Work another 10 rows in stockinette stitch. And then bind off the work. The stitches you just binded off will be the top of the cat. Sew the opening closed at the bottom, and then sew the side seam. Stuff the cat. Add the eyes. You can either use buttons or safety eyes, as I did. Pinch the seam at the top together and sew. To make the tail, cast on 28 stitches and work in stockinette stitch for 2 inches. Bind off when you are finished. Fold the tail over and sew the seam. Lightly stuff the tail. Sew the tail onto the back of the cat. You can either sew on a piece of pink felt for the nose or use embroidery floss, as I did. And there you have it. The flat knit plush cat is complete.